guys, it's Chloe. Welcome back to our channel. So in today's video, I will be doing another thrift flip. Myself and Millie recently did a thrift flip video and you guys seem to really enjoy it. So back at you again with another thrift flip. This time it's going to be Brandy Melville inspired because first of all, I love Brandy Melville clothes. Second of all, however, I cannot get Brandy Melville clothes because I live in Australia and sadly, we do not have a Brandy Melville here. Brandy Melville, if you're watching this, please just come to Australia. Today, I've got a whole bunch of thrifted clothes, which I'm going to try and flip. So they look like items which I've seen on Brandy Melville's website, or just kind of like the overall aesthetic, I feel, of their store. So I went onto the Brandy Melville UK and USA websites and I scrolled through everything. And first of all, I scrolled through all the skirts. So this is me just scrolling through all the skirts and I found a lot of skirts which are like this grid pattern. I thought this is very in style for like what they have on their website at the moment. So then I'm just going to crop this off and turn it into a mini skirt. So here's this skirt. It is really ugly. It looks a lot like something a grandma would wear. So first of all, it's too big, so I'm gonna have to take it in. So I'm going to make it into a mini skirt and bring it up to about here. So then I'm just going to do, I think, a slit as well on one of the legs there. And this skirt was only $4.
So the first thing I did was I measured how long I wanted the skirt to be and then I cut it about an inch longer than that because we'll be hemming it up later. And then I just flipped the skirt inside out and mine was a bit too big, so I had to hem it in, what am I saying? I had to bring it in on the edges, so I just did that first. Then once I did that, I measured how long I wanted the little slit in the skirt to be because I thought this would make the skirt look a lot cuter, adding just like a little accent slit. And also a lot of Brandy Melville skirts have had these. So what I did was I just measured where I wanted it to be and then I just cut that out, making sure it was only out of the front side. And then I like folded in the edges and hemmed them. I did this so it had like a nice clean edge rather than the raw fabric. Then when I hemmed the lining of the skirt, I needed to make sure that I folded up really high because I didn't cut a slit out in it, so I had to do it really high so you couldn't actually see it from the slit. And then I just sewed that straight across. Pretty self-explanatory. And then obviously I just cut off all the excess fabric. Now I measured how far I wanted the hem to go up. Mine was about an inch and then I sewed that, and to be honest I was very nervous for this part because I had to make sure it was very straight because you'll be able to see it from the other side, and somehow I managed to do this very straight and neatly, so you know, props to myself.
Finished skirt. I'm honestly so in love with this skirt and I'm actually so proud of it that I managed to do this out of like that big gross skirt before. I really love this skirt, and with the sewing part of it, hemmed it, and then for the little slit, it just looks like this. There's this little bit of black thread which I had to sew across there, which is like a little bit obvious on camera, not so much in real life, but I had to do that because I didn't want it to like rip more. So I brought it in on this side. I was originally going to do both, but once I did it on this side, I was like, that's kind of enough. It doesn't need to be brought in anymore. But other than that, I think it's a really cute skirt. Long 360. It's a little too big, but I still think it's really cute. So a lot of Brandy Melville's clothes are like basic kind of clothes. So I just found this little pink tank top and it's like a musk pink color, and I saw this pink top which was literally identical to this, or how I'm imagining this is going to turn out, and it had these like two buttons up the top with a little V. So I think what's going to be so cute to do is just cut it here and add like two little white buttons on the side and crop it off, and that should be a top. As you can tell, this is way too long, so I'm going to crop it to about here, and then I'm gonna do the little slit there. this next one is a very simple one. So we're gonna crop this shirt and then sew some buttons on.
So this little tank top was very self-explanatory. I actually used a Brandy Melville shirt I already had, and I used that to measure how long I wanted the shirt to be, and then I just cut that off. And this excess fabric I realized was enough to make another shirt, so stay tuned to see me make that. But then I just took 2 little white buttons and I just put them where I wanted them and used them to cut a little slit in the shirt. And then I just sewed on the buttons. Now obviously this isn't actually functional buttons, but you know, it just adds a cute little effect.
So here is the final look of this top, like the cropped feel about it and just the little buttons and this whole like little V here. Like the V would be cute, but the buttons add just like a little something even though they don't actually work, but that's fine. This top is definitely something I could imagine seeing in Brandy Melville and definitely gives me the whole vibes and aesthetics of their store.
So next for this little bandeau, I actually hadn't planned to do this at all. I just realized I had enough fabric left over from that little tank top which I just made. So I just decided to take it and then pin how far I needed to take it in so it would actually fit me. And I just flipped it inside out and sewed that straight across. Then I just cut off all the excess fabric, and that's literally how you make a bandeau. Like, you could just leave it at this, but a lot of things I've seen on Brandy Melville actually have like little embroidery logos and everything.
Very quick change of plans. So I was originally going to put this on like this white t-shirt, but with the excess material from this little top which I just made, I was like, this is enough to make a little bandeau. So I sewed a little bandeau, as you may have just seen. And then I was like, let's just take this little patch and sew it onto the little shirt, just like this one, which I actually got from Brandy Melville UK. And it's got the little Union Jack. So now I can have the Star Spangled Banner from the USA on this little bandeau, which I actually think is going to be so cute. So let's just iron this on.
So yeah, I decided to end up using this little American flag iron-on patch, which I thought was very on brand with Brandy Melville. I've seen a lot of things like this. And then I just simply followed the instructions and ironed it on. I was a bit nervous with this because you're not meant to do it on stretchy fabric because it might pull off, but it hasn't fallen off yet, so you know, fingers crossed.
When I was making this other top, I was like, there is a lot of excess like material. There is enough, because it was really long, to make another little bandeau. So instead of just wasting the material, I'm making a top, and it actually turned out so well. I am honestly so happy with how this top turned out. This wasn't even planned to make in this video. I flipped it inside out, then I sewed it in on the edges, and then I flipped it back out, and that's literally all you have to do to make a bandeau. And they definitely always put like American flags and different flags on things, so I thought this was like so on trend. I didn't hem the bottom edge of this, and I just left it raw. I used the bottom of the shirt up the top because it's already hemmed. And yeah, that's the little logo there. Honestly, one of my favorite things I made, which is really surprising because it was not planned at all. But yeah, that is the top. So a lot of the things I've been seeing on Brandy Melville have like raw edges, like not sewn, which actually makes it a lot easier to thrift flip. But these I thought looked a lot like this pair of tracky shorts, which like I'll insert here. I thought these were really interesting, and pretty much they just cut off the bottom and turn it into shorts. So that's really what I'm going to do for this one. Very simple, very stylish hopefully. So while I was scrolling through the Brandy Melville website, I saw something very interesting. They were like these trackies, but they'd been cut off into shorts, but like to the knee. That is something, let's just say, I could never pull off. So we're going to be turning these into shorter shorts, which are not up to the knees. So I'm going to crop them off to about here.
This was literally the simplest thing ever. All I had to do was cut off the pant legs.
This is actually what the shorts on their website, some of them look like. I don't like this at all. We're gonna go cut them shorter.
That definitely wasn't my style, so I decided to cut them into shorter shorts, which I've also seen on Brandy Melville. This actually took me a few tries to get them to the length I wanted. Here's the ones I was following. And I actually kept cutting these like too long, so I had to keep cutting them shorter and shorter, and in the end I cut them a bit too short, but whoops.
So here are the finished shorts. Now the shorts, I cut them very unevenly, so let's just ignore the fact that I did that. I cut them like way too short on one side, but they're actually like pretty cool. If I have any old tracky pants which I like grow out of length of leg wise, I'm definitely just gonna like cut them into shorts. I like these. Found this at the thrift store, and when I did, it gave me like instant Brandy Melville vibes, and I had a look on their website and they had a lot of little shirts that were like these little tops. It's this little cute white lacy cardigan and has buttons all down, and I've seen heaps of these on their website. All of them are cropped. Everything is pretty much cropped, but the issue with like knits is you can't just crop off a knit, because if you do, the edge will fray and then it'll like come undone. I'm gonna like, I don't really know how to explain this, but I'm gonna fold it up. You'll see as I'm doing it, but I'm just gonna kind of like fold it up and then sew it across and fold the hem back down, so then it still has the hem on the shirt and it doesn't come undone, but it also will look cute. So I'm really hoping this works out because I really like this top.
So the first thing I did was pin down all the buttons on the top so they didn't come out of place when I sewed everything. And then what I did was I folded up the original hem to a bit higher than where I wanted the shirt cropped, because we'll later be folding down the original hem. It'll all make sense in a second, but then I just pinned that all into place. So then I just sewed across the very bottom edge of the original hem. Now the reason why I didn't just cut this off to crop it is because obviously it's a knitted fabric and they will just completely come undone and fray everywhere. And then I also did it like this because it will keep the nice original hem on top. And then what I did was I just cut off all the excess fabric on the bottom, flipped it back over, and that is it complete.
How this little cardigan into cute top turned out. I'm really happy with how this turned out. To be honest, I was a bit nervous because I really liked this and I was like, what happens if it doesn't turn out well? But it turned out really well in the end. The only issue is I did do it like a bit crooked, but honestly, if you just stand back, you can't even tell. Now, this is definitely something you would find in Brandy Melville. I found something very similar to it on their website. It was in black, but it was literally identical to this, just in black. Thrifting and find little cardigans, I'm definitely gonna get them to turn them into cute little tops like this. If you enjoyed, make sure you get thrifting yourself. I find this is such a fun way to get new clothes, which are like personalized sometimes, and then they're also way cheaper. So make sure you do not forget to comment, like and subscribe, and comment down below if you want more thrifting videos, and don't forget to hit that big post notification bell so you get notified every time we post a new video. We'll see you guys next time. Bye!